My name is Raymond Lewis Ivy. I come today again. I addressed you all before. I sent each one of you all, last time I was here, the acting mayor told me if I had some information or something, and at the time I didn't have no copy, so I emailed each one of you all a YouTube showing the hanging of my son, and it's concerning my son, Brian Lamont Johns, who was found hung here in Carbondale, Illinois on March the 19th, 2021. And I'm asking again that it be you all to reconsider to have the police department reopen it. I want to say something that I didn't say before. Prior to my son's death, he was the police department was a paid informant for the police department, where he was setting up drug dealers, robbing drug dealers, and they knew he was addicted to drugs, and he was a resident of the Samaritan home. And but before he was found hung, the police department said that they last seen him on March the 18th, 2021, a little bit less than 24 hours after he was found hung in the 400 block of Oakland, North Oakland Street, which is right across the street from Ann Harbor district, where they've been having a lot of shooting and violence at. But the police also had said when they closed the case, they closed it on August the 17th, 2021. And on the 9th of 2021, on the 17th, they said the Sergeant Dunnigan hand delivered his findings to the prosecuting attorney, which on the 29th they said a prosecuting attorney agreed with him, but they said that the case was inactive and they was waiting on pending the Illinois State Police. This is in black and white, Illinois State Police, but they had closed my son's case before the Illinois State Police even finished their finding, which the Illinois State Police finished their findings on October the 19th, 2021, which they on the belt in the knots, they had 3 contributors, one being my son and 2 other ones being some unknown. And what I wanted to, if I can, I wanted to show y'all something to have y'all look at. But after this thing is over with, I would like these back because I didn't have time to make copies. But I wanted y'all to look at these where my son was hung. Ain't no possible way that a human being can hang themselves like this here. And then if you look at the knots, ain't no way a human being that's high off of high doses of methamphetamine, antidepressants, and other drugs would be able to be stable enough to stand over a 3rd floor railing, tie something, and hang it. And I would like for each one of y'all to look at all 4 of these here. But after it's over with, I would like it back. But all I'm asking is that they reopen it because they didn't do a thorough investigation, and there was a lot of errors in that. And my son was homeless.
15
and
seconds,
he was
Mr. Ivy.
Ma'am?
15 seconds.
Okay. But
could you scan those and email them to council?
I don't know. Did you all get my email? So y'all seen this thing with the hanging. That's good enough. If y'all seen these here, that's what I wanted y'all to see. Ain't no way a human being would be able to hang themselves. And like I said, the police had him on the payroll.
Your time is up, Mr. Ivy.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Are there other citizens' comments?
Elias Reed, Carbondale, Illinois. On about 1980, the city of Carbondale adopted a minority business enterprise policy. On 8/7/1981, the city of Carbondale adopted a revised affirmative action plan by resolution number 81R68. On 11/18/2008, the city council adopted another revised affirmative action plan by way of an ordinance number 20848. On 8/11/2020, the City Council adopted another revised affirmative action plan. The City Council also adopted a disadvantaged business enterprise workforce participation contract goal policy, stating it is the policy of the City of Carbondale to provide contracting opportunities to disadvantaged business enterprises. The City references 49 CFR Code Federal Regulation Part 26 to evaluate compliance with the provisions of this policy. 49 CFR Part 26 Appendix C lists the Business Development Program guidelines, and 49 CFR Part 26 Appendix D lists the Mental Project Program guidelines. My question is, do the 49 CFR Part 26 Appendix C and D Business Development and Mental Project Program guidelines apply to the City of Carbondale DBE policy? Was the attorney here?
We don't have an answer for that tonight. If you want to contact Mr. Williams, he can review that with you.
All right, another question. Was the City of Carbondale MBE, Minority Business Enterprise Policy, repealed?
He can review all of those things with you when you meet with him.
Last question. Was the 1981 and 2008 City of Carbondale plans repealed?
No.
They were not. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Thank you. Are there other citizen comments? Thank you. Any other council comments? Mr. Lose.
A few things. I got an email just now that the website's working, and that on Channel 16 we've got picture but no sound. So maybe that can be fixed even during the meeting. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I hate that I have to do it, but here we are. I went to a meeting the other night in the Arbor District on gun violence, and there were 3 presenters at that meeting. One gave a honest and accurate report. The other 2 were riddled with inaccuracies and misstatements. And there's one that I have to address. I don't think I can let it go unaddressed. So the state's attorney repeatedly during that meeting said that his office has been defunded and that we need to hold our county board accountable for defunding his office. Well, the county's budgets are public, and I don't know if maybe he forgot that. So I went and looked that up. So for the 2019-2020 budget, the state's attorney's office was budgeted $1,526,500. For 2020 to 21, it was $1,599,261,000. For fiscal year 2021 to 22, it was $1,733,966. For FY22 to FY23, that'd be the current budget, it was $1,738,109. So I'm no math whiz, but I believe that each and every one of those numbers is larger than the one that came before it. And so I don't understand how that equates to defunding. And I bring this up because Mr. Cervantes was very vocal on the subject of holding our public officials accountable. He specifically mentioned the county board and the city council. I didn't hear him name himself among the public officials to be held accountable. And what I'd like you to know is that something we need is integrity. There are people who will tell you what you want to hear. They'll pander to you. I call those people pander bears because I think it's cute and I try not to be vicious. But there's really nothing funny about it. When people pander to you and lie to you, then it sure makes it hard for you to make good decisions if you don't have good information. And so when somebody says, without proof, that they've been defunded, when in fact that has not occurred, that's something that you should keep in mind. Okay. Mr. Cervantes also chose to imply, although to his credit, he did not out and out state that the city council had refused to take action on license plate reading cameras. Well, it's just not true. There were some concerns raised about it the first time it appeared on the agenda. It was removed from the agenda so that those concerns could be addressed. It came back, and the council approved that. And you know, in the interest of full disclosure, honestly, I voted against it. Was I right to do that? I don't know, but I did, and I'll tell you that. So something that you really ought to do is look at who's being honest with you and who's not, and make your decisions based on that, not based on who's willing to pander to you.
6 at 10.
Gun violence is a hot-button issue across the country and even here in our viewing area. Neighborhood leaders in Carbondale, Illinois say nearly 150 shots fired incidents in the city last year, along with another shots fired incident just last week, is renewing their concerns. Local 6's Jane Kim explains what steps people want to see be taken to make the community safer.
Gun violence is plaguing what Dory Warren Jr. calls home. He's lived in Carbondale for nearly 30 years. Now he's here at St. Francis Xavier Church to take practical steps toward change.
It's time to put things into action. So I want to be a part of that action. I want to be a part of that change and just take it one day at a time and help people make that change.
Jackson County State's Attorney Joseph Cervantes says combating gun violence is a complex and nuanced issue.
I think it's important when we're talking about crime, we're talking about two different parts of it. We're talking about crime prevention, but we're also talking about being able to prosecute crimes and hold people accountable when we need to do that. And so you have to approach crime from all sides.
Cervantes says citizens have a part to play, which includes participating in local government and voicing their concerns and complaints.
Get out and meet your neighbors, be visual, hold people accountable. You know, if you see something, don't turn the other way or don't pull out your phone.
Warren wants to be proactive and go beyond just sitting in community meetings.
Be informed. Make sure that you have some type of way to get informed from the city and from our law enforcement. Second, participate. Show up to city council meetings and show up to the county board meeting.
I'd like for you all to know that the videos you just seen, the one at the city council was yesterday in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County, on Tuesday, January the 11th, 2023. I want you all to know that the YouTube that I made earlier today concerning Captain Barry Morgan for the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department, who took a plea deal in Johnson County, Illinois, and Vienna, Illinois today for battery. I said today was December the 11th, 2023. Anybody that really pay close attention, they'll know December 2023 hasn't came yet, but I meant it was today, January. But when you hear, I spoke today, yesterday at the city council meeting again, speaking up for the justice for my son, Brian Lamont Johns, who was found hung Friday, March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois. I was asking them to reopen the investigation. When you hear me speak, you know what I'm speaking about, my son. Then you hear another brother. He's a real NAACP member, Mr. Reed. You know, and he speaks up about minority, black businesses, unions, black union members not getting jobs and things. And he speaks up about my son's death and other injustices, no matter what your color is. He stands for what me and my two daughters stand for when it comes to the NAACP, which is supposed to be the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But most of the 2+ million members are the the independent Association for the Advancement of Certain Colored People. But I want you to listen also to one of the city council members in Carbondale, Illinois, Mr. Adam Lotz. Seemed like one of the most realists. I don't know too much about some of the other ones, but I know about two of them, but they don't speak up for my son's death, and both of them is black, the only two blacks on the committee. But Mr. Lotz mentioned something because he was at a meeting on Sunday. I believe it was January the 8th, 2023 in a district, Ann Arbor district, which was right across the street from where my son was hung. But some white people and black people, the majority whites in the area, they was complaining about the violence over there. And you will see the lying prosecuting attorney, the Spanish guy. I don't care if he is Spanish, but he's a racist, and he's an unjust prosecuting attorney. And then Mr. Loach show how he's a liar too, how the prosecuting attorney is a liar. Don't take my word for it. Mr. Loach has information to show where he's a liar. But anyway, his name is Joseph or Joe Cervantes, and he refused to have an investigation going for my son a death. He ruled it suicide without really doing any investigation. Went solely on what the police said. He also refused to prosecute a white school teacher and her black husband who was spending my son food stamps when he was alive and 39 days after he was found dead. He refused to prosecute them. He refused to prosecute an individual that shot my son in June of 2020 in Carbondale, Illinois, who my son in his hospital bed identified the individual, and they brought some photo lineups and showed who it was. But Mr. Cervantes, who just was newly elected last year, he dropped my son's case in April of last year, saying that the victim is deceased. My son identified this girl. So when you listen to him talking about he needs the community help, we know that one of the city council members that was at that same meeting with him when the people was complaining about all the multiple shootings. But Mr. Loach also showed y'all how he lied, how the prosecuting attorney lied, saying about people trying to defund them. But check it out real good, y'all, and support me and support my family to get justice for my son, Brian Lamont Johns, in Carbondale, Illinois. Let's get rid of those people that's politicians that's just for themselves and not for everybody. We know that that Joseph Cervantes is not for the people. Peace be still.